So, Ed, are you ready for the first question?
Well, here goes. I think I'm ready.
So, I thought we would start off by asking about the basic structure of a CQC inspection. So, what typically happens from start to finish?
First thing to realise is about whether they are announced or unannounced. Residential inspections tend to, in the vast majority of places, be unannounced, so you won't know they're going to be coming and turning up at the door. Domiciliary care, they tend to be short notice, so you'll get 24 to 48 hours notice, because when CQC come to a dom care, they'll be turning up an office and they don't want to knock on the door and find that the manager's not there or there's no one there. So that's why they do it as short announcements. So if they do turn up, the first thing they'll do is knock on the door, let themselves in, introduce themselves, and they will outline what they will be doing during the day. Tends to be one, maybe two inspectors that will turn up, and they might have what's called an expert by experience with them, who is someone who has been involved in services, not delivering services, but being on the receiving end of services. So they have walked the walk and know what to look for. And they tend to focus on not looking at the documents or the paperwork or electronic stuff, but spend time just observing practice and talking to residents, because they get a better insight than perhaps the inspector might do. So the inspector will go around, talk to staff, they'll talk to clients or people that use the service, they'll intercept any visitors or if any professionals are on site, and they'll ask them questions about what they think about the service. They'll also look around the premises. If it's a residential service, look for the cleanliness and the quality of the environment. So it's important that the home is always clean, tidy, well presented, the equipment works, the bedding is clean, that knives and forks are clean, all that kind of stuff. They will also be following up a PIR. Now, that's the provider information return that you'll be asked to complete. And that used to be a bit of a precursor that they will be coming to do an inspection, but that's not largely the case now. They'll ask for that on an annual basis and ask you questions about the service. But if you said anything within that raises concerns or they want to explore further, they will ask questions about what you put in the PIR. They'll also look at, because before they come and visit, they will send out surveys to people and talk to people who are involved with your service, and they'll follow up on the questions and comments that have been raised by people. And when they're on the floor looking around, they'll of course look at care plans, they will look at the assessments that you do, and really focus on risk assessments and about how you manage risk at your service. So that's really important, that you're not denying people from doing things because you feel it's too big a risk for them to do it. They want to see you supporting people to take risks in a mitigated, appropriate kind of way. They'll also probably will look at a new admission. So if you've got a new admission to the service, they'll look at that to make sure the assessment's been done correctly and it's been translated into a care plan. They will also look at perhaps your most complex case that you support, just to make sure that you've got people involved, that it's needed to be involved, that you've got appropriate care plans about how you are going to support that person. They'll look at accidents, incidents, safeguardings, and drill down into those and look at the outcomes for those and the lessons learned from all those things that have happened. They'll also want to look at how your understanding of mental capacity and how you're addressing the capacity issues within your service, and understanding what capacity means and how people are enabled to make choices. They'll also look at lessons learned. It's not too bad if you've made mistakes. What's bad is if you make a mistake and the same mistake happens again. That's what CQC will be really frustrated about. If there's an issue that's happened, you need to develop a lessons learned log. So you've addressed that, you've put actions in place to prevent it happening again. They will look at medication. 9 times out of 10, they will look at medication within your service, because it's an easy thing for CQC to do, because it's looking at things, it's tangible, it's fairly obvious when a MAR chart hasn't been completed or stock control hasn't been done. or the medication room's untidy. You know, it's a very easy thing to fall down on, quite an easy thing to get right. They'll be monitoring care, they'll observe care, they'll do things like be a fly on the wall in communal areas, they'll blend into the background. And it's amazing how quickly carers and other members of staff forget that CQC are there, and then behaviour will revert to type and they'll treat people within the service the way that they normally do, which can be a good thing, but it can be a bad thing. So you just need to be aware that they are there and observing care. They'll look at meal times. They will case track individual clients as well, and that means looking at a client's journey from when they were admitted to when they left the service, and see all the interactions and when the reviews have taken place, when care plans have been added to or developed and things like that. They'll also look at the audits that you do within your service, which is a way of you providing governance of your own service. And this inspection probably will last a day. They could come back for a second day or even a third day, depending on the size of the service and what they find. But don't be alarmed if they come back for a second day. It just might be that they want to look at more stuff. Don't be frightened by that and don't think, oh my goodness, things have gone badly. But at the end of the inspection, they will give you feedback on what their findings are. So you should have an idea of how well the inspection went. So that's a bit of a run through from when they knock on the door to where they go. I hope that was useful, Kelly.
Thanks, Ed. A really clear overview there, and I'm sure it's really helpful to everybody who is listening. Some helpful tips in there as well.